Volume 2, Chapter 1, Her Decision. Living under the same roof as girls is a situation any healthy male high school student would have longed for at least once. Let's picture it. Carelessly opening the bathroom's door one day and encountering a shower scene with a nude pretty girl. Turning on the TV one day, they show by chance a commercial for a horror movie, and giving the reason of since I can't sleep by myself, she asks you could you sleep with me. Putting on puppy eyes. Even I had a time when I longed for that kind of throbbity-throb situations. But reality is so cruel. If you try looking under the lid, the much-desired lifestyle under the same roof is full of terrible things. Why is it like that? The silver-haired, blue-eyed beauty that suddenly came to live with me shows a curious guard where she doesn't even show the pa and panty shot. And instead of becoming frightened with horror movies, it's her existence that's frightening. The Ghoul, Zon-mi-ar. Mackenzie, since I shoulder the commendable duty of a monster tamer, I can't do anything but being abused by the behavior of this arrogant girl.
Welcome back, Chiharu.
Once I finished my work as an executive committee member, when I opened my home's front door, Zon-mi greeted me with the looks of a vacuum cleaner-wielding, apron-dressed, newlywed wife. Is this some kind of shyness play? This is no place to play the straight man. I don't know what to say. Before the entryway there are numerous familiar porno mags piled into a huge mount on the cave. They just published a new peace book. Level.
Since I didn't know what to do while I waited until Chiharu returned home, I decided to clean your room. While I was at it, I decided to dispose of things I deemed unneeded. Don't mind it.
Why so sudden? When I asked, Zon-mi's eyes lost their light and became those of a dead fish.
Yogurt strawberry sundae.
Erg?
Chiharu. It seems you had plenty of fun this evening. Have you neglected your partner to have a fancy dinner with the Nephilim?
How careless. It seems that somehow or other today's events have reached Zon-mi's ears. How could Zon-mi know about today? Even though that question crossed my mind, as we are partners bound by the ring, we can pick up each other's whereabouts. For that, sorry, you don't have to worry one bit about that.
No problem. Since Chiharu is free to have dinner with whom he wants.
Nothing costs as much as what is given to us. Somehow it seems that if I don't repay Zon-mi, I'll lose the thing I value next to my life. Nevertheless, pearls before swine, a waste of resources. Telling Zon-mi about the porn mags? It seems that the porn mags that have invaluable price to a guy in his puberty to her are no more than trash. Is that so? Thanks for expressly doing the cleaning. How should I put it, my room? Was it filthy?
No. Chiharu's room was very clean. It was a bit artificial.
If you put it like that, it seems you're trying to imply something. About my room being clean, that is, there is a bit of a meaning that I want to conceal the things I don't want to be seen. Since I think that from back when I was in elementary school, I've tried to lead a lifestyle based on cleanliness. I'm quite thankful for your selfless consideration. But don't you think there's something mixed in that's not rubbish?
If it seems like I made a mistake, pick the necessary things from here and bring them back to your room.
That being the case, since the book is not trash, I'll bring them back to my roll. When I tried, totally composed, to pick up my Bible of the 100 top lewd athletes in the world, my hand was brushed off as if it were natural.
Chiharu, that's rubbish, isn't it?
Though her face was smiling, Zon-mi's eyes weren't. Sorry. It seems I had something in my eye.
Is that so? That's good then. If that from before had been done seriously, I would have no other choice but mince up Chiharu's body and take it out as burnable rubbish along with these magazines. Come on, hurry and pick up those filthy things. We'll dispose of them right away.
Wait a minute. Why do I have to carry them myself? Saying that to Zon-mi, her cheeks turned a fiery red.
Do you mean you expect me to carry those filthy things?
She mouthed those words while looking down. Filthy. That's a mean thing to say. Nonetheless, I'm a high school boy that has hit puberty. It's a sad thing, but I can't deny it.
What's this?
Right after I lifted the mags, something fell from inside of one of them to the floor. Actually, you could say that I could virtually pick it up. Looking carefully, it was a pendant shaped like a key attached to a silver chain. What's that I could virtually pick up? I can't recall where I got it from. However, I think this seems like something absurdly valuable.
Why are you slacking off? Let's go.
Understood. In the end, I secretly put it into my pocket so that Zon-mi didn't realize, and hurriedly followed after Zon-mi. Kuro's Kyuko. There's nobody who hasn't heard of her name at Seiron Private Academy. My high-handed childhood friend. Those who see her for the first time may not hold such impression. The truth is, she's a person that minds her surroundings in order to put off a cool persona, not used to deal with people more than necessary. Attractive face and figure. A woman gifted with looks and brains. A prize beyond reach, owned by nobody. Since she gives that impression, loved by those around her, it makes her insanely popular. However, she's actually different. Her social disposition has become quite dry, because she mingles with other people while hiding that she's a monster. The truth is, she's way more lonely than the rest. She's nothing more than a weak girl who thirsts for other people's warmth, and nobody knows her better than Kusumi Chiharu, Kyuko's childhood friend since elementary school. Yo, touch! Around 7 years ago, Kyuko, due to her father's job, moved here, to Segusa. She was still in her 3rd year of elementary school. Back in elementary school, Yuko was subjected to the teasings of her male classmates on a regular basis. Because of that, the Kyuko from childhood, different from now, due to her complex personality, she looked like an easy target for bullying. Though she had fine basic features, due to things like her naturally curly hair or her big-rimmed glasses, her appearance didn't show even a bit of her current refinement.
Sob.
The word freak, her male classmates nonchalantly called her, pierced Kyuko's heart. At the time, on a popular Sunday morning tokusatsu hero show, fantastic beings like Kyukoko were always being depicted in story as foes. In Keiko's very young mind, she was vaguely aware that it was decided she couldn't become the heroine or the main character of the story. How can it be fine? It was at that time. The first time she met him, Kusumi Chiharu, she had known about him since before. With outstanding reflexes, he also handled flawlessly his studies. His looks that resembled closely those of a medium-sized dog full of charm weren't bad too. If you had to say, it was a clear strike on Kyuko's preferences. Even while he didn't lack many special traits, his popularity among the rest of the girls didn't stem from that, but solely because of his unheard-of inside self. What made a clean hit on the heads of the boy classmates that surrounded Kyuko was an out-of-season pool bag. Strange. That's weird. Swimming classes and physical education had ended long ago, when that doubt was risen inside Kyuko's head, coming from nearby, an offensive smell that made you choke. It was without a doubt the worst stench that Kyukoko had smelled up to date, as if having wiped milk spilled on the floor with a cloth and then left it to rot, an unprecedented fetidness struck the guys. My swimsuit has been inside for a month. With the stench that couldn't be withstood if used as a weapon at war, the boys were frightened by it. As they realized they were at disadvantage, leaving behind a parting threat, fled at lightning speed. That was quite the quick curtain close, since the lad that had appeared so suddenly, in a single blow, had chased away boys once or twice as big as him. Hey, are you crying?
Huh?
She needed several seconds to realize that the hand that boy held out was turned toward her. It seems this is the first time since birth someone outside her family has helped her.
What's your name? Karoza Kyuko, from class Tremino Do, and you?
She knew his name from the start. Nevertheless, by all means, she wanted to hear it from his own mouth. I'm Chiharu. Kusumi Chiharu, from class 3. The smile on the lad's face that showed his white teeth was extraordinarily dazzling. What's it? This feeling. My heart is throbbing. I can't look at him straight. Could it be love? No. That's surely, after all, this person. Actually, I want to hold that hand right now and get back up. However, the smell of rotten cheese that came from the lad's hand greatly weakened Kyuko's resolve. She can't recover from the mental shock. Yuko's complicated and mysterious maiden heart forced into disarray.
Moron.
She brushed away Chiharu's outstretched hand and started to hit him in the chest. Ah! What are you doing?
When you're going to help a girl, at least make it be a bit cooler. Why have you done such a half-baked thing?
Yeah?
Don't mind it. From now on, take your pool bag home every day and wash it. I beg you, have a bit more of cleanliness. Since it is possible, you are my first love.
Despite having run her mouth with impetus, in the end, she regrets her violent behavior. With her cheeks as red as apples from shyness, she stole a glance of Chiharu's form. Not even in his wildest dreams had he thought that a girl who he's just saved would give him a sermon. Chiharu made a blank face in puzzlement.
Well, sorry. I messed up.
As she apologized with teary eyes, Chiharu started to laugh, as if he had remembered something. The heck, girl, look at your face.
What?
How funny, Kyuko, you said. If you don't mind, let's be friends.
Yeah, Nice to meet you.
This was the meeting of Chiharu and Kyuko. Afterwards this day, Yukoko's very life will take a dramatic turn, but that's another story.
Surprisingly, I miss a bit those times.
It was when she started to clean her room. Kyuko being what's usually called a clean freak. Soon as she found some free time, she had the habit of ending up doing everything she could to clean her not disordered in the least bedroom. Today, she's cleaning the shelves. Full of determination, Kyuko started to diligently sweep the accumulated dust in detail, but somehow, she found it. Minatsu Elementary? The graduation album. That book, as if mimicking her own memories, had been put away at the back of the shelf. Because, the better she could, she wanted to leave it in a place where it were not seen. Then, Yuko came to avoid Chiharu. The fleeting days of her first love, against her will, were locked deep inside her heart.
Ha ha ha! The me back then was this clumsy.
The first time she saw her ungraceful true form, Yuko made a self-torturing smile. Each photo brings her precious memories. The hand that turns the pages doesn't stop. Suddenly, Yuko's eyes got glued to a certain page. It was the future dream corner at the very end of the graduation album. Pro baseball player, florist, attorney, school teacher, bride, manga writer, game creator. Surely the kind of jobs children dream with packed together like in a dance and written in poor writing. From among them, one is remarkably conspicuous. Stag Beetle. Kusumi Chiharu. Of course, it's his dream. I still don't understand what this guy is thinking of. Really, how could he write such a foolish dream? My understanding hurts. Don't you understand? My dream hasn't changed since then. I still want to be a stag beetle. That's why, don't worry, your wings are honestly cool. They are not creepy at all. Asked today, suddenly, it made me ponder his words.
What?
What's it? This feeling. Warmth fills me from deep inside my body. I can't stop the throbbing on my chest. That I had sealed in the depths of my heart 5 years ago has now once again come back. Heat as if my body is burning. I want to hear his voice. I feel as if my whole body is throbbing. Without repressing her excitement, Yuko started to roll over the futon.
Haru, I love you.
To cool her burning body, she hugged tightly her pillow. She doesn't know herself what she's doing, nor she wants to know.
Yuko, are you there?
Her train of thoughts completely froze. For an instant, she was under the impression that the world had come to a halt, but that was not what had really happened. If time had stopped like that, who could have saved her? Suddenly noticing her father's figure, Shioko regained her senses, realizing her own foolishness, fuelizing. She inspired a big chunk of air.
Wah, at least knock, you stupid old man.
Shouted loudly.
No. How do I say it? Sorry. Are you busy?
Do I seem busy to you?
Sorry. Were you having fun?
That's too gross.
I am truly sorry. So, please don't throw the bed in.
Possessing the power of a monster, Kyuko's physical strength was surely not laughing matter. Kyuko's father, Kurosumi Gage, only came back home about once a week.
What have you just said?
Yeah. Since it's very important, I'll say it as much as necessary. Congrats, Yukoko. Your new partner has been found. Furthermore, he's an exceptional person the association has high hopes for. These are good news as no other. Go make the contract ASAP.
Letting out her emotions, Yuko hit the table with a bang and,
First thing, currently, I'm officially on negotiations to make a contract with Haru. How is it possible someone else has appeared?
What's the matter? Kyuko, you have the talent. Even at such a young age, your battle capability is top class among our clan. We can't allow your talent to go to waste like this.
That, doing as you please, is troubling. Since I was to become Haru's partner, we had made a promise to become partners later.
Mikage's tone of voice became harsh.
Don't you know, Keiko? The time needed by a rookie tamer like Chiharu to get his second monster?
That's...
Not saying anything else, Kyuko bit her lip. 3 years. For someone acknowledged as a low-level monster tamer, that was the average time until they receive a second ring and are promoted to mid-rank. To Yuko, a span of 3 years is outrageously long. Since, perhaps by luck, Chiharu managed to corner a top-level tamer, he may be promoted because of that. However,
About that, once 3 years have passed, what assures you that you will be chosen? Didn't you said it yourself? To Chiharu-kun, as a tamer, the sensible choice would be that red dragon. From a tamer's point of view, between a Nephilim and a red dragon, which one is preferred? Don't you understand that?
if you go by combat strength, Nephilim surely aren't weak. On the contrary, they are monsters of the highest of ranks. That and all, it can't be helped to be overshadowed by red dragons. The tribe of dragons is very coveted among monster tamers. Contracts with them are restricted to only a fraction of the tamers.
Then, being such a talented tamer, in 3 years, it won't be weird that a powerful monster, no less than a red dragon, becomes Chiharu-kun's partner. If it's like that, you'll possibly be relegated to 3rd place.
That?
Won't be, she couldn't say it. To monster tamers, they like to get powerful monsters. That's only natural. Then, supposing that, let's say that he could choose more powerful monsters, won't he rather get them earlier? With blurry sight and fuzzy thoughts, she wobbled as if she couldn't find the floor.
Of course, Daddy would like that you served besides Chiharu-kun. To a monster, there's no highest honor than to make a contract with a monster tamer, since having the backing of the association makes a huge difference. Nevertheless, let's get real. From the instant you weren't chosen as first, your chances of becoming Chiharu-kun's partner went south. You know, please make a decision before a week. You absolutely can't face the other part in such a half-baked situation.
Without saying no more, Mikage got up. At the same time, the sound of the door closing was heard. Kyuko bent her knees, crestfallen.
I look stupid.
It seems she can't think of any alternatives. The thing with the pact, it's no one's fault but hers. She looks stupid. Suddenly, Chiharu's reflection crossed her mind. At a time like this, what would he think of? If it's him, he would probably face the adversity without care. He wouldn't get defeated by something of this extent. It wouldn't crush him. Something. Isn't there a way to take this hopeless situation to an end?
Ah!
That instant, a diabolic and heatless idea surfaced in Keiko's head. It could work. Contract usurpation. Though, of course, it was not something Kyuko found commendable, she has no choice. Their chances of success. It goes without saying that Chiharu's current contracted monster comes from the Ghoul clan. The Ghoul clan, contrary to red dragons, is hardly popular among tamers. Besides, when Chiharu chose the Ghoul as a partner, it was purely by chance. He didn't have the intention to make the contract. Let's suppose, if I could make him notice that my charms as a monster and as a woman are better than those of the Ghoul girl, maybe.
Yosho.
Let's do it. Even if I have to resort to this.
Be it love or contracts, I won't lose.
Volume 2, Chapter 2, Cooperative Tactic. Recently, I feel like I'm losing my dignity as a man. Speaking frankly, I'm being made fun of. And that's because the pretty freeloader Ghoul girl that came suddenly, Zonmiar Mackenzie, the devil-like little sister that lurks inside the Kusumi home, Kusumi Manami. Currently trapped in the pace of these two, my life of being dominated goes by without issue. Hey! What a situation I, whose catchphrase is, to hell with sissy main characters and does not want also to be known as a bossy husband in the flesh, have ended in, it's an urgent matter that must not be left unresolved. Nevertheless, a ghoul, and my blood-related sister. That pair of selfish-to-the-core pretty girls that are constantly letting out sighs of something must be done about this personality are impossible to be kept in check. In the end, today, like always, I can't help but being controlled.
Chiharu, are they going to celebrate a festivity soon in this town?
Morning, while waiting for the bus in front of the station. While standing to my right, the one who asked me that was Zomi the Ghoul. Straight long, silver hair reminiscent of white snow, slender limbs, her features without flaw, her dignified gaze gives her a cold aura, a beautiful girl with the atmosphere of a cool beauty. Ah, you mean the Segusa Festival? It's a big festival that encompasses the Tanabata Festival, a summer festival, and a fireworks rally. The preparation being made in Segusa City as the day approaches have greatly changed the town scenery. Though there's still time until Tanabata, the hastiest shops have already started to place the stalls.
I see. It's a festival overflowing with greed. By the way, Chiharu, are you planning on going with someone to it?
Nope. No one in special at this moment.
Is that so? That's surprising.
Is that so? Could it be that inside Zomi's head I give an impression of having many friends? Though that said, it's not very wrong. Zomi pondering about something for a moment.
By the way, Chiharu, are you currently seeing someone?
That's quite the sudden question she has made, in the least. That's not possible. Simply look at my usual lifestyle and you'd understand. Even if I've been truthful, for some reason Zonmi's expression harbors suspicion.
Chiharu, it's not good to lie to me. Wouldn't it be better for you to tell me the truth?
I'm not lying. Isn't that because I couldn't get a girlfriend for 16 years?
I see. I've got a gist of the situation.
Who? So you finally understood?
Yes, there's no person you're going out with, because it's a monster who you are going out with. Isn't that what Chiharu means?
Wouldn't it better be that I have neither a human girlfriend nor a monster girlfriend?
Mew.
Even when I explain myself without delay, Zomi seems like she's still not convinced. Why does Zomi distrust me that much? Or rather, that about a monster girlfriend gives the impression of having a highly destructive potential. Ah, I've just realized something. So it was that. I had totally forgotten that I'm wearing the pendant I found yesterday. When I asked, Zomi nodded with an embarrassed face.
Yeah, no matter what. It doesn't seem to suit Chiharu.
Perhaps a little. I'm not someone who wears many accessories for starters.
Could it be something you received from a past lover?
Hardly, since, as I've kept telling you, I'm a male virgin who's been 16 years without a girlfriend. Don't make me say it. It's embarrassing and sac-tace. What? Even though I've said the truth, it seems as if the air around us instantly froze. It seems that male virgin is a taboo expression to Zonmi.
So it's like that. It seems that I became over-suspicious. Of course someone that speaks with no delicacy won't be able to get a lover. No doubt I must excuse myself.
Zomi looks like she despises me. No problem. Looks like I've cleared her doubts, but what the heck? This is surely very complex. I let out a deep sigh. No matter what, I didn't think this pendant would raise so much suspicion. Do I look like an outsider to fashion? Since it appeared out of nowhere inside my room and it surprisingly fit me nicely, I tried wearing it, but, truth to be told, I didn't think it would cause such a fuss. Have I to conceal it under my shirt so to prevent someone else from seeing it, getting suspicious and causing a riot?
Getting back on track. So, you are not going to participate this year?
Nope. I had planned on going. At least, maybe I'll go together with my classmate Yuhei. I believe that, him being him, it seems that he won't let the chance escape. I have been asked by Manami like a demon day after day, but going to a festival with my little sister at our age is of course embarrassing. I think I better pass.
I see. I think it's a commendable judiciousness.
If you're interested, would you like that us two went together?
What?
As it seemed that Zonmi became momentarily speechless and had her mouth agape, soon after she became panicked with her face pure red.
Wahawa, what the heck do you plan by saying that? Maybe what you mean with those words. Do you have the intention to be on a date with me?
No, nothing so flashy. My intentions. Wasn't only recently that Zonmi came to Segusa City. You're still not familiar with this area. Needless to say, my aim is that, if I have someone that I plan to go with, it will be easier to fend off my sister's approaches.
Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart.
Totally in disarray, Zomi took a deep breath in.
Sadly, I must decline. Because basking under the summer sun while taking a stroll in the middle of a crowd is life-threatening to a ghoul.
Ah, that's right, didn't she tell me before? That each year in summer 100,000 ghouls were sent to hospital? If it's like that, then there's no way around it. And recently it's been abnormally hot. To the human-hating bi-week to heats on me, an event like a festival could be like hell.
Then, though I can't attend to the summer festival, what if we go somewhere indoors?
Glancing on the direction of the voice, a pretty girl came out of a trash bin placed on the street. Big and round eyes like those of a small chick. Nicely developed big breasts. Her black hair, pride of Japan, was arranged as a ponytail at the back of her head. Kusumi Manami, the one that has suddenly come out of a trash bin, is my little sister.
What the heck is that, Onishan? I demand an explanation. How come I don't get what you mean at all?
Calm down, Manami. Isn't it you the one who has to give an explanation? That thing you are doing. Is it a human jack-in-the-box? However, as if it was only natural, Manami turned a deaf ear. Instead, she criticized her brother's humor sense by letting out ooh-ah. Don't make that comparison in a small voice.
Why, while you turn down my approaches, are you making an appointment with the zombie? That's totally weird.
I do it in order to have a good pretext to turn down your approaches. That's something I won't say, even if you rip my mouth open. How come? This situation, how can I get over it? It seems like Manami is in the right this time. If my invitations were turned down, and I saw the other party asking out a total stranger, even if I'm not Manami, it wouldn't sit right with me. There's no option. I'll use that. The last resource when in trouble. It tends to work, as it makes use of Manami's feelings, though I don't like it. I have no other way. Brushing away my forelocks, I struck a somewhat exaggerated cool pose. Listen, Manami, this is totally for your sake. Manami let out a little sigh with a befuddled face.
Wait a bit. What?
Yosh. Hook, line and sink. My little sister's expression turned in a flash into that of a love-struck maiden. I'm your brother, right? Since you are more important to me than anyone else. Ain't I telling you to harden your heart? Next year, you're also going to be a high school student. Won't it be troubling to you if you cannot let go of your brother by then? I beg you, Manami. Make your brother feel relieved and make a single friend before then. It's really something I can't endure. Due to Manami's bad habit of having a much too strong sex drive, she had no one she could call a friend in elementary and middle school. That's why my words are my sincere, true feelings. Though it'll be good that Manami learns to not cling to her brother for a bit.
Understood. If that's what Onishin says, Manami, we'll try. From now on, I'll make a friend to go together with to the festival.
That's it. Did you understand? Shit! I got some tears in eyes. As I expected, if you make Manami listen properly, she's quite the sensible child.
In turn, if Manami does as Onichan said and can make a friend to go with to the festival, there's something I want as a reward. Will you promise me?
Promise?
Not now. Once it happens, Onichan. Let's go together to the festival.
What the heck does she mean by that? After going to the festival with a friend? Double booking by going together to the festival with me? I mean, isn't that completely going back to the start line? Hey, Manami, by saying you will make a friend in order to let go of your brother, isn't that putting the cart before the horse?
Pretty please, this is the last I will ask of you. I want my last memory of middle school, by all means, to be going together to a festival with my brother.
Since it's unusual that Manami asks for something so meekly, I ended up rejecting it on impulse. Thinking about it, isn't this to some extent better than being insistently asked to the festival? I don't want to say it, but the chances of my sister that has been a solo player all her life to successfully make a friend in the lapse of a few days are far slimmer than the chances of survival of an ocean sunfish's offspring. Understood. I'll promise you that.
I did it. Onishan, I love you.
Manami hugged me with all of her tender body. Also, how much longer will you stay inside that trash bin? Since the start, being hugged by my sister doesn't make me very happy, but the stench like dead crayfish that comes from her hair adds up an extra layer.
Chiharu, you adulterer.
Zonmi badmouthed me, with a glare cold like a North Pole blizzard. Ah, this is bad. Could it be that, this time, is Zomi the one who has lost her temper? Now that I say it, that's right. I may have been insensible from my part to promptly make this kind of promise with my sister only minutes after having asked her out. Being these two the women most near to me, unless you are very careful, the troubles won't stop. Sorry. About this.
Jealous wench?
By promptly making a follow-up, Manami didn't let me continue.
Shitty zombie. Read the mood. As you see, Onishan has chosen Manami, that's why. Get out.
Ku.
Zomi made a face as if she had bit a lemon.
How many times do I have to say it to you so that you understand? My name isn't Zombie. It's Zonmi. I'm a descendant of the proud since ancient times Ghoul clan. Zonmi A. Mackenzie.
She rebuked with her usual catchphrase. It seems that Zomi, being a ghoul, she can't stomach being treated as a zombie.
Still with that? I'm fed up with that sentence.
Hey, it's a problem that you are fed up.
Straight to the point, Zombie-san. Aren't you excessively close to Onikan despite being a newcomer? Going together to school every morning, you surely feel important. Could it be Tilda, despite not being going out, you feel like you're his girlfriend?
Oh, what are you saying? If you say that, then you too.
With me, it's fine, since I'm Onichan's little sister.
Is that reason enough? If it's like that, then I'm Chihara's partner. So it's only my natural duty to serve at his side.
Saying that, Zomi showed the silvery glittering contract ring. Some days ago, I formally established an employer-employee relation using the ring. For that reason, Zonmi and me are wearing matching rings.
Ring. Oni-chan and the zombie are wearing matching rings.
This is very bad. A switch has totally been flipped.
I won't forgive you. Never, 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 never.
My sister's brother complex has sincerely deplorably gone out of track. That's bad. So bad that it's on the level of making even monsters run away. Even Zonmi has gone pale.
Let's go, Chiharu. It's dangerous to stay here.
Yup. Zonmi took my hand. It seems we can't afford to wait for the bus. The instant we left the station as if we were in agreement, a tremendous killing intent was felt at our backs.
You've taken... You've taken Onegichin's hand.
I carefully looked back. There, Manami, with the face of a demon, had taken out of nowhere a couple of huge knives with 40 centimeters of blade length. And isn't she shortening distances with us with ferocious speed? With this, you can't tell who's the monster.
Chiharu, raise your speed.
Yeah, Zomi was dashing while strongly pulling my hand. Dash Zomi is of course a monster, and seeing it like that makes me too quite the monster tamer. Could it be due to producing magic power? As of recent, my physical ability has risen conspicuously, reaching a level that can't be compared with a normal person. That's why I don't have to worry about the chance in a million that my sister catches us. That's what I was thinking at the moment.
Hiya.
As I thought I'd heard a little shriek, suddenly Zomi's arm that was pulling on my hand was severed while fresh blood gushed out.
Fufu, at last I caught you.
From behind? No, wrong. It was from the front. Before we could have noticed, there was my sister covered in the red of shed blood. What an amazing feat! My sister not only defeated a monster tamer and his partner in speed, but managed to sever the right arm that Zonmi was using to pull my hand too. Where did she acquire such pointless combat ability? Good grief, that's bad for the heart. Had Zonmi not been from the Ghoul clan, would not have been no laughing matter.
Fu, lass. How dare you cut my arm? Today for sure I won't forgive you.
Bring it on, everyone who gets close to Oni-chan is an enemy. I'll chop up your heart and body.
Taking a weapon umbrella from nowhere, Zonmi faced my sister. My sister, being my sister, she faced Zonmi with the aforementioned huge kitchen knives while smiling ominously. Man. I don't know what's what anymore. Ever since Zonmi became a freeloader in the Kusumi residence, every day has been like this. Even if I'm so worried, can't I even sigh? My spirits are almost as low as when I threw a tantrum because I stained my newly bought shirt with curry sauce. Paying no attention to those two, I carefully got out of that place and went to school alone.
Then, have you heard, Chiharu?
Lunch break. My classmate from the seat next to mine, Sakurazaka Yuhei, asked me with his cheeks stuffed with flavored bread. This good friend of mine is a man of the currently styled low fuel consumption hybrid kind who likes 2D girls and loves 3D girls.
It seems a class has decided to do caramel apples.
Yeah, is that so? Tanaka from C class does Frankfurts? And didn't Yamazaki from D class chose chocolate bananas?
Yep, both of them have made low-lifeness reach a whole new level. It seems they are using the confusion to make girls eat rod-shaped foods, and like that fulfill their hidden intentions of seeing them make sexy poses.
A stand even though we are in high school? You may be wondering, but to set up a stall is something specially regarded as part of our school's extracurricular activities. To tell the truth, the reason I decided to go with Yuhei to the festival is the following. About your booth, it was yo-yo fishing, wasn't it?
Yeah, isn't it the best? The guys around me won't stop saying, "Isn't he too fired up?" Being no match for me.
As expected, your idea is on a whole different line of those of the perverts from the other classes. As soon as I remarked that, Yuhei's eyes got sharper.
Coo. As I suspected. Chiharu, I suppose that, being you, you'd realize.
You overestimate me. Anyone would notice if he used his imagination a bit.
Nope. Apart from you, no one has realized it. That yo-yo fishing has become the best panty-seeing spot.
As I see it, yo-yo fishing is the best panty-seeing spot owing to two facts. First, as we know in the game known as yo-yo fishing, if you don't lower your hips enough, you can't pick a yo-yo. But, on the other hand, girls strongly dislike to dirty their clothes by touching the ground with her butts. For that reason, since while yo-yo fishing, they can't but keep their hips lowered on a halfway stance, that makes the perfect chance for panty seeing. Second, the line of sight of the girls engrossed on yo-yo fishing. Where is it aimed at? Of course, at the yo-yo pre before their eyes. With this, no matter how wary the girl is, it's difficult for them to realize their own defenseless stance, even if the monster affair has enlivened society. Even today, the world is at peace. Still no luck. Since I was rejected by Zonmi this morning.
So it's like that. If you ask me with your all, I may let you man the booth for a bit.
What the heck? If you were telling me that I will be able to see panties effortlessly, that's too good to be true.
In that case, I want you to promise me something.
Yuhei put on a very serious expression.
Since you are with me, make it so neither Zomi-san nor your sister go to the festival.
No problem. Though I find it very unexpected, Yuhei's suggestion is somewhat easy to achieve. Truth to be told, Zomi has already rejected me once, and I doubt Minami will be able to make a friend before the day of the festival. May I ask the reason?
Chiharu, me being still your best friend, I want us to be together.
Hey. You seem to be saying that if I went to the festival with 2 girls, you'll stop being my friend. Understood. Though I don't understand why, if it's like that, I'll prevent those 2 from going to the festival.
For real? Are you serious, pal?
I was surrounded by his arms and hugged. Seeing it from outside, it gives a dangerous feeling, but even being hugged by Yuhei, I think I kept my face from revolting. Goo, foo. How long has it been since I looked forward to the day of the festival? Seidusa Festival? Now that I think about it, long ago I often went with Kyuko, but lately the chances have remarkably diminished. Now that I think about it, has she planned to go with someone to the festival? As I thought about that, once I reached my seat,
Good morning, Haru!
speak of the devil. A clear soprano voice suddenly resounded inside the classroom. Looking in the direction of the voice, there was my childhood friend. The moment she set foot inside the classroom, my classmates' spirits fired up like gunpowder. Oh! It's Kyuko-sama! Our angel has come to own! Even after Zonmi transferred, Yuko's popularity was as strong as ever. No, I dare say it was even stronger than ever. The source was the monthly Saren Underground magazine published each month by our school's newspaper club. According to the same issue, over these several weeks, haven't some of the core members of the Kyoko fan club, KFC, taken the banner of revolution, established the Zonmi fan club, ZFC, and now both parties are in the middle of a bloody feud?
What a fuss are these humans making?
Engrossed until a while ago by the Karahaj roll she had for lunch, Zomi expressed blatantly her displeasure without listening to the current conversation. Iram, what's the matter? When I tried to ask, feeling an ominous premonition on my back, Kyuko blushed.
Well, I made an obentu for Haru.
She spat those surprising words. Yuko put before me a humongous 4-layered bento box, then she averted her gaze while bashfully entwining her fingers. As I thought I heard the creaking of plastic being broken, next instant, the remains of a pair of chopsticks rolled over the desk. Currently, Kyuko-sama is intermingling with Kusumi Chiharu. Urgent. I request permission for bloodshed. Yeah. Serves you right, KFC. It's obvious our angel is Zomi-san. The dubious students from next class came dashing, being as noisy as they pleased. Not that it matters, but KFC. Isn't that fried chicken? What the heck? How come? Why did you make this bento for me all of a sudden?
That's you see.
A change in the surroundings. The air was filled with tension. The classmates watched us intently as they drooled.
It's the same work doing 1 or 2.
It came we. The king of responses that nowadays only happens in games. Thanks for the treat. I'm full. Thank you very much.
What? Any problem? Since I made it for you, at least be thankful.
Yay!
Then, what are you going to do? Will you eat it or not?
I'll eat it.
Fun. You should have said that from the beginning.
Ah. Of course I'd like to refuse. Nevertheless, if I refuse Keiko's goodwill, she could not take it well. I'm scared of the retribution from the KFC members. I don't know if Yuko's plotting something, but it'll be better to play along with her. Ugh. Next instant, Yuhei's shriek was heard. No one present at the site when it happened could do nothing more than stare silently. Speaking from the results, Yuhei, who was until now seated next to me, has his head inside the garbage bin and is letting out anguished screams. A catastrophe. It's a catastrophe. Yo, Yuhei? This is bad. The infirmary. Someone take him to the infirmary. On the seat Yuhei was occupying until a while ago, now is seated Kyuko, feigning innocence. Dreadfully, probably Yuhei's appearance doesn't reflect in her eyes. Since she has used too casually her monster powers, no one present has noticed her wrongdoing. But that's only natural. It has been so fast that, despite having the dynamic vision of a monster tamer, I've barely noticed it.
Come on, you can tell me if the bento I made for you is to your liking.
While trembling as if there was a poltergeist phenomenon going around, she opened the bento box's lid with unsteady hands. The 4th layer has white rice, while layers 1 to 3 seem to have been designed as side dish areas. fried, prawn, hamburger steak, carrage, French fries, spaghetti, pork cutlet, curry pilaf, yakiniku, steak, sweet and sour pork, salad, fried salmon, mackerel with miso, takoyaki, etc., etc. Like that, it was filled with multicolored side dishes made to be well received by men. Yuko. Could it be... you want me to eat all of this?
Yeah, I tried to choose and make only what Haru liked, but...
Sadly, it seems she has no ill will. I don't understand the exact reason, but since long ago her harsh efforts end all going on weird directions. Then, bon appetit. I carefully reached out with my chopsticks to the hamburger steak.
How is it?
Yeah, the usual deliciousness. There's no problem with the ingredient selection or their passing over the flames, and also there was no complaint about its quality. I'd believe it if they said to me this had come from a restaurant.
Is that so? That's good.
Yuko, letting out an exhalation of deep relief, gazed at me with a dazzling expectation. Come, why don't you try the next one? If you ask me, I'm confident on how the fried shrimp has come out. She asked me as if it was only natural. This flow of events, it gives me bad vibes. I looked around looking for help, but each and every one of them conspicuously turned away their glances, so I couldn't meet their eyes. It seems I deserve it. It can only be called divine punishment.
What's the matter? Could it be it doesn't suit your tastes, perhaps?
I couldn't get rid of my suddenly meek childhood friend. Her eyes tinged with uneasiness. Since it has come to this, even I... better to steel my stomach. Having made my decision, with tearful eyes, I gulped down the hamburger and white rice as if stuffing them into my throat. Resolutely, I kept chewing. My stomach capacity has reached its limits long ago. It's as if I could end up throwing everything up any time if I so much let some air out. However, I can't go and give up. This Keiko? What the heck? What was she thinking, making so much bento? I don't know the circumstance, but she wouldn't have prepared so much bento for no ordinary reason. That's why I'll eat it. I'll keep eating it. After a while, I could see the end. Another bite. Another bite. Only this last piece of pineapple from the sweet sour pork and finished. Blurg. Nevertheless, reality is not so kind. Having my stomach reached long ago the limits of its capacity, its contents were thrown up in an explosion of a paste resembling egg ice cream. Danger! Kusumi has been defeated. To the infirmary. Even if it's Kusumi, take him to the infirmary. What? I see a beautiful river. Could this be? The Sanzu River? The one who's waving to me from the other side. Is it Yuhea? I see. You also fell in a very flashy manner. Yuhea, I follow your steps.
Good grief. How can you be this soft-hearted? Master.
While I was losing consciousness, I thought I heard Zonmi's voice. As soon as Kyuko reached her apartment, she buried her face in her pillow and hanged her head. Thinking like that, I felt my mood steadily going down.
I'm going to support you. Kyuko Wanaken.
From somewhere, the voice of a girl could be heard.
Who?
That's weird. When I got out, if I'm not wrong, I locked the door. Right now, no one should be inside this room other than me. No one should. Next instant, bam. The wardrobe's door was opened with force. Following that, a familiar human came out rolling like a pill bug. Kusumi Manami, the one who has suddenly come out from inside my home's wardrobe, was Chiharu's little sister. Unintentionally, I held my head in my hands. I don't know what Chiharu thinks, but what's inside the head of this little sister that's rolling there was a mystery.
What are you doing, Manami-chan?
Worried as I was, I could hardly squeeze out those harmless words.
Don't mind it, one pick an eye.
Don't mind? Isn't that a full-fledged crime? Don't you have something to say about that?
Foo-foo, that's that. Now, compared with One-chan's problems, that's trifling. Am I wrong?
Wa. Since it was spot on, Yuko was unconsciously taken aback.
Ayer! What do you mean by supporting me?
I asked with a somewhat forced smile.
Cheering on your love, of course, Kyoko Wanaken. Don't you love Oniken?
What?
However, One-shin's recently abused template of tsundere childhood friend, is it a successful approach against Oni-shan? Is not, right?
Breather. About liking Haru, I don't...
Yeah. It's fine to go with that character. You like him, don't you?
It's not possible to keep a secret from her, so it seems.
Yes, I like him. I love him.
Just when I voiced that, I noticed my face heating up. As the questions kept popping up, feeling that she'd lose if she thought deeply about it, Kyuko gave up thinking.
Yep, let's go straight to the point. That love, I'll help you fulfill it.
Ugh.
From today onwards, Manami will be love's Cupid for you two. I'll teach Kyuko Wanakan about love.
Ah.
I didn't understand the reason. Isn't it somewhat sad that I have to learn about love from a girl younger than me?
Don't worry, since if you leave it to me, everything will be okay. Feel at ease, Kyuko Wanakan.
I can only sigh. Since I can't reply, it seems I've given my consent. That's weird. Manami is a well-known brocon. I don't know what reason she'd have to help me with my love.
Ufu. Now I can make Yuko Wani-chan get in the way of that ghoul's romance.
You've let out your true thoughts.
I don't understand a bit of what's happening, but I can say a single thing. That is, it seems that it's my fate to be completely manipulated by these pair of siblings. Volume 2, Chapter 3, Honey Trap. Since I don't know from where to start, let's go in order for the time being. Before my eyes there is a female pervert. How unexpected. It seems I was greatly mistaken about the being called female pervert until now. I believe they were beings that only lived inside male fantasies, but that was a great mistake. Thinking a bit about it, it's obvious, but seeing that beings like dragons and ghouls surprisingly do exist in reality, there's no reason why female perverts won't, nevertheless. No, indeed, that there was a female pervert so close to me. I didn't expect it. What are you doing? Yuko, totally overflowing with uneasiness, I said the name of my childhood friend.
What? You don't get it.
Let's rewind and reassess the situation. It's lunch break. I was dragged by Kyuko into the women's toilet at the back of the school. Currently, in front of me, I see my childhood friend with her skirt rolled up and flaunting her panties to me. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. This sudden plot twist would leave even Polnareff speechless. I can see your panties.
That's all?
That's all.
That can't be all. Isn't there something? Like feelings?
Why should I tell you what I feel when I see your panties?
Ugh. That's...
Being questioned, Kyuko became flustered.
Saying that any boy should fall once they are shown panties, Manami-chan. You lie.
With her skirt still rolled up, she muttered something. I don't know what's happening, but since I can't bear seeing her like this, understood. I'll tell you. Listen. Since I'll tell you my feelings on seeing your panties. Don't make that face.
Really?
It's a deep mystery why she's so happy, but Yukoko let out a smile like a flower in bloom. Ugh. A situation of being forced to reveal my feelings on seeing her panties. I really don't know what her aim is. How should I put it? It's repetitive.
What?
A really big question mark floated over Kyuko's head. I've said repetitive, haven't I? I meant it as repetitive in the good sense. I don't think you should be bothered by it.
Repetitive in the good sense what?
Not the ones you're specifically wearing right now. Those pastel color with pink and yellow and such with a frilly ribbon ones.
So it's like that. But is it something that boys like after all?
Of course. I'd say it's a genre with established popularity, but...
You don't agree?
Frankly, I'm personally fed up. First things first. Will wearing them like that make boys rejoice? Doesn't it defeat the original purpose? I'd say this sense of security is a no-go. So, if you first take the boy to a safe location, that's a weak pattern. Besides, I have no complaints against the staple genre, but do you only wear that kind? Katsudon is delicious, but if you eat nothing but it, won't you get bored for sure? To begin with, am I not accustomed to see your underwear? Darn, it could be that I've unknowingly hurt Kyuko. I see. I lack delicacy. How can I liken a girl's panties to katsudon? I'm the worst. It should be at least macaron or tiramisu. One of those posh desserts. As I expected, Yuko lowered her sight and with her shoulders seemingly trembling.
You Morrow.
With teary eyes, she ran away full throttle, alone. I've been left alone at the girls' restroom. What was that? That Keiko. What the heck does she pretend? If you thought about showing me your panties out of the blue, then you ran away with teary eyes. No matter what, I don't think it's a sane reaction. Both yesterday's Bentu and today's panties clearly give me bad vibes. But, since I won't get anything no matter how hard I think about it, well, recently weather has gone hotter. Saying that, is that it? With that half-baked reflection, I directed a pitiful glance to the gradually shrinking back of my childhood friend, after class. While answering the booklet with past questions of the test center, I just bought at the school library, once I went home, the sun was setting. Being alone, I started thinking about many things. About dinner, about school, about friends. About if I dedicate myself on being a monster tamer from now on. I walk on the white lines of the asphalt at twilight. If I manage to reach home while only stepping on the white lines, I feel like something good is bound to happen tomorrow. I know. I feel, however, good things don't come so easily. Since chances are good that by tomorrow I'd forget about this, there's no way to prove it. Even so, I like to do these kinds of pointless things when I'm alone. Before the park, I've gone countless times as a child. My sight fell on a single spot. A single girl was lost in her thoughts on the swings. Golden hair fixed in rather short twin-tails. A dull red robe that seemed taken straight out of fantasy world. Those eyes were of a crimson that overshadowed the current sunset sky. Iris? The one there is the red dragon girl I exchanged promises to make a contract with. Iris Scarlet Lindworm. That was her.
That voice? The tamer?
Iris stopped swinging and turned her face in my direction. Am I overthinking things? That face is not of her usual haughtiness. It feels like she's thinking hard about something.
I see. It had totally slipped my mind. Now that I ponder, that nest lays in the vicinity.
Nest. She says, by the way, Iris, why are you in the area? Could it be you've covered all this distance to come to see me?
Nice jest coming to accompany idlers like you.
But I think it's more of an idler the one who's playing on the swings at the park in broad daylight.
I have a reason for coming to this area, and that's to inquire about a certain someone.
A certain someone? As I parroted her words as a question, Iris's eyes became harsh.
The monster tamer of the catastrophe. The name is Noelle North Norm. 5 years ago, she's one of the key persons on the slaughtering of my tribe.
The next instant, I felt like that name would easily shake the foundations of what was until now your usual everyday. The monster tamers engaged in the crime of abusing monsters. The black tamers. Just the other day, I fought against one of those black tamers that wanted to get his hands on Iris's dragon blood. And could I have been mistaken until now? A peaceful everyday. A world at peace. To me, those are no more than a house of cards. Not even an instant. If they resent me because of last day's battle, you could say my life is currently on grave danger 24/7.
It seems adequate to suppose our foes won't let the recent skirmish slip out. It could be we have found the trace of some unknown bigwig.
Then, Iris, what will you do once you've found that guy?
Thou doesn't have to ask the moment I meet him. I shall tear him apart, since to me from the very start. That has been my objective in life.
Shouldn't I say something to her? Since revenge will bear nothing. Stop it. Since killing people is bad, stop it. If I act as an ally of justice, it'll be easy to spit out a sensible reasoning. Nevertheless, the people who can say that kind of lip service are the ones who are living in bliss. I have a question. Let's say those lawyers and jurists that right now are arguing against the current death penalty. If one of their relatives was murdered by a total stranger for selfish reasons, could they still stand for their beliefs with the same conviction? Since I don't want to pose as an ally of justice by brandishing the prevailing view, I won't deny her. I see. That's good. As I let out my honest opinion, Iris made a face as if she was not convinced.
Unexpected, being thee. Won't you exercise unnecessary meddling and suggest me to stall?
That's the life you've decided on. Even if it was wrong, I'm not qualified to deny it.
Good. It seems thou hast grown up whilst I was not looking.
However, let me tell you a single thing. Brush. I softly petted Iris's head and said, won't you stop getting involved in so many unnecessary problems? Right now, your face shows quite a lot of suffering.
What art thee basing that nonsense on?
If I keep with that, she'll end up losing her temper. I pretended not to see it and got back on track.
Because of thee! Hadn't it be because of thee? I should have strayed from the proper path. Against humans, I was consumed by the flames of hatred. For that reason.
I felt like Iris fiercely muttered something, but the sound of the night breeze drowned it and it didn't reach my ears. Going back a week. This is the threshold between the netherworld and the human realm. A group of men and women were inside an old castle that towered over a desolate wasteland. A man with Easterner factions that bore the nickname of Tamer of the Black Beasts. Clary Schoenfeld lowered his head in front of the masked woman. Anguish surfaced to the man's expression. Though the man pleaded frantically to personally repay the dishonor, the woman's tone was freezing cold. The tamer of the catastrophe, Noel Northmore. Clary couldn't suppress his agitation after hearing that name. Hey, that's a joke, right? Why the heck? Sending such a big shot to engage a rookie. Next instant, a big lump of rocks hit the man in the gut. No, calling it simply rocks is not exact. A mineral giant with a soul in its body stone golem, obviously it is a monster under the command of a powerful monster tamer.
One son. Can I kill him?
That girl appeared suddenly, without anyone noticing. Wine-red hair like spilled blood, a black dress with varied ornaments. Her features had a crafted beauty, but the only thing that engraved itself on the memories was her relentless glance without any warmth.
Nothing, Tilde. This behavior doesn't mean anything. Do you need a reason to crush summer flies? Chi.
Being reprimanded by the masked woman, she let go of the man with a dissatisfied expression, even though the man hollered and reached his ring to his lips. Noel's face didn't flinch. Commanded to leave against his will, Clary, after directing to Noel a glance full of bloodthirst, left the place.
I know, killing that Kusumi Chiharu human, right? The same old task. Go, me. Is it killing him by beating the senses out of him? Or maybe killing by harassing? Yeah.
Grin Noel made a wide, charming grin. The masked woman showed a self-deprecating smile, having fallen into evil, but still not having become completely cold-hearted. Volume 2, Chapter 4, Recollections of a Certain Summer Day. That night, I had a dream. A dream that I was aware I was dreaming. I've heard of it on the TV or somewhere. I think they are called lucid dreams. People say that lucid dreams could be manipulated to attempt things like let's do naughty things inside a dream. But of course, I'm not capable of that kind of skillful behavior. The most I can do is to wake up inside the lucid dream and see the events from the perspective of a third party. The contents of my dreams are mostly reminiscences of past events. I don't have a clue why, but like when I blacklisted the mail I received from the IMA, to the somewhat forgetful me I'd say it's very handy. It may be by chance that I remember things I thought I'd forgotten. This time it's from when I was in my last year of elementary school. That day I went to the Segusa festival.
I don't wanna be apart from Chiharu-kun.
A scream that seemed squeezed out from the depths of the throat. At my side, clad in a yukata seemingly a bit less stylish than currently, the Kyuko back from elementary school. This was the place of our memories. Midway uphill and removed from the core of the festival, a not very known spot that was perfect to see the fireworks. Don't be unreasonable. Even if you say you don't like it, nothing can be done against family issues, right?
But,
Besides, Mom said it, right? Even if we move out, we'll be back in a year or so. It's not like we won't meet again. Around 5 years ago, due to my mother's job, I was out of my hometown for about a year. Thinking about it now, that time, how harsh were the words I told the girl before my eyes? Back then, our relationship was somewhat different from what's called friendship. That was. You-ho, but during a tension something. Without mincing the words, it was dependence. The Kyuko from back then was like a chick that took for its parent the first person it saw after birth. She followed me.
1 year is too long. Since Chiharu-kun is so forgetful, you'll probably end up forgetting about me.
Don't worry, since I won't forget you.
I don't have a reason to believe in those words.
I won't forget.
Liar, you may say that, but since you are Chiharu-kun, it's in you to forget your promises.
How much do you not trust me? But of course, I think my memory is only up to about that.
I won't hand Chiharu-kun to no one. I won't.
With big fat tears on her eyes, Yuko grabbed my sleeve. Yup, how weak she was. She hasn't changed in the least. Once Kyuko decides something, in that case, her obstinacy won't let her budge a bit. Once we get to this point, there's no convincing her. What? Now that I think, if that's true, what was with that incident of the past? How did I break through that situation back then? Let's speak from the results. Yuko, what day is today?
What day? July 7th. It obviously is Tanabata.
Yeah, that's right. Today's the once-a-year day Orihime and Hikoboshi can meet. It's a bit like us two right now. That's why let's make a wish.
Like what?
In short, like this. I took a Tanzaku from the bag and started to write a sentence with a pen, so that Keiko and I can be together forever. Ja. My head hurts. That's right, I did something like that. I think I understand now why I'd had forgotten it until now. If I remembered something so embarrassing, myself would crumble in an instant.
I'm glad. This Tanzaku, I'll treasure it forever.
Are you for real? Could it be that Kyuko is weak against this kind of conceited remarks?
The truth is, me too. I was also about to make something for today's festival, but
Saying that, Kyuko took out a Tanzaku of the same size as mine. The moment I leant over to see what was written in it, my senses went back to reality and Sakusai. That time, what was the wish that Kyuko had written on the Tanzaku? Though I feel that it was something I absolutely mustn't forget, that it was something very precious to me as I've awakened from the dream, there's no way to check. XXX once I woke up, I was on top of my bed. All 4 of my limbs chained. Good grief. This pattern once again? Sad, isn't it? Though a normal person would have slim involvement with situations like this. To me, this state of being bound by chains and handcuffs was a usual thing, no different from a mid-morning coffee break. When, sighing, I reminisced how things got this way, I could easily pinpoint the culprit. That was right after I finished my dinner. After drinking the coffee Minami made me, my memory was totally blank. In other words, it should be that. Darn, that Minami. She always does as she pleases.
you've woken up.
However, what entered my view was an unforeseen scene. There was the negligee-clad figure of my childhood friend. Furthermore, it's not an ordinary negligee. The thinness of the fabric that clung to Kyuko being a see-through material, if you look closely, from the gaps on the lacy weave you could catch glimpses of her pale pink underwear.
Sorry, I couldn't think of anything else.
What the heck is this for?
Though this time I strayed from the usual pattern and tried to choose an adult-like underwear. Does it suit me?
Ignoring my question, Kyuko asked me with uneasiness in her glance. Let's say it clearly. Suiting her or not, I think it's of a level on a completely different dimension. Sexy. Could it be that until now I never regarded Kyuko as someone of the other sex? The negligee-clad figure of Kyuko is charming and has enough power to make my reasoning crumble. Strayed from the usual pattern, you say? Could it be that you still hold a grudge about that time?
Of course, didn't you hurt my womanly pride?
If that's the case, then sorry. I've apologized. So put some clothes on and remove these bindings ASAP.
Sorry, I can't do that.
Why?
Why, you ask? Because then it will be a hindrance for snatching Haru's chastity, ain't I right?
Ah, I've noticed too late. In this situation that can't be seen as nothing other than 2 people alone on the same bed, I can't offer any kind of resistance. Iram, let's cool our head. Could this be what's called a desperate crisis? Wait, explain to me first what's happening.
Haru, did you know?
Whispering into my ear,
I haven't gotten serious yet.
Kyuko suddenly leant on me, covering me like a blanket, soft. And she smelt very good. In a single breath, her face got closer. We were at a distance where simply by breathing a bit, both our lips would meet. Even if I try to resist since my body is numb, I can't move. Could this too be the doing of the drug? If I could move my body a bit, maybe I could break through. For what it counts, Kyuko grabbed my shirt. I felt like a carp being cut apart on top of a chopping board. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. My first time will be a reverse rape by my childhood friend. It can't be more pathetic. Wait. While thinking on a plan to break through, a question suddenly surfaced on my mind. Why am I so unhappy to begin with? Kyuko. It's crystal clear that, judging only by looks, my childhood friend is quite the beauty. No. Let's stop running away by saying only by looks. I do realize she's truly hardworking. She's equally beautiful inside. And that's not my subjective opinion. Her popularity at school is enough proof. Apart from her, there's no other charming girl that will say she'll snatch my chastity. Shouldn't I be thankful? Wouldn't it be better that I, for the sake of future reference, gave up in a manly way? Right when my thoughts had turned into a mood of resignation. Kyuko, sighing as if she had realized something, stopped the hand she had been moving until then.
That pendant.
Most likely, it must have fallen into her view while opening my shirt. Right when Keiko saw the pendant I was wearing, she looked like she was surprised, her eyes round.
What? Why are you...
This? It looks like a very old thing, but recently, it appeared while tidying my room. Could this be my chance? I have totally no idea of the reason why, but it seems like a certain fact that this pendant is Keiko's weak point. Clinging to a ray of hope, I connected a rapid-fire barrage of words. For some reason, I couldn't get rid of it and tried wearing it, but does it suit me?
It's nothing. I don't think that's possible, but...
Yuko muttered shortly, as if not interested. However, I didn't miss it. Just now, Kyuko's appearance was clearly unusually agitated. As soon as her bodily temperature rose, her hands and feet started trembling. Why this timing? Could it be Kyuko knows something about this pendant? No. We can also think of it backwards. The attitude of firmness she had until a while ago seems weird. For what reason? Being acquainted since elementary school is not for show. She's not like a certain little sister of mine. Yuko, by nature, is not capable of this sneak lovemaking visiting as she pleases, as if she went to buy an ice cream from the convenience store. And I did notice. A single tear fell from Kyuko's eye. I see. That's right. At that time, I was convinced. Her current behavior is clearly not on her own volition. If I think it for a bit, it's obvious. When a boy and a girl love each other, it's not likely that the girl would engage in this kind of sneak lovemaking visiting as she pleases, I believe. No. While it could be, it's no more than a supposition. The Bentu, the girl's toilet. Both of the recent incidents Kyuko caused may be related to the current one. In any case, something must be happening. There should be some deep-rooted cause to Keiko's weird behavior, though my body is far from being in best condition. Thanks to the long chatting, it seems it's become considerably better than a while ago. If it's in this condition, perhaps by using the one special skill I fostered by growing with sad family circumstances, the getting free of bounds technique. Sorry, Keiko. I can't return your feelings.
You are bad knowing when to give up.
She resolutely said over her shoulder.
Have you forgotten perhaps your standing? If I felt inclined to respect your intentions, we wouldn't have got to this.
That may be true. However, you too have forgotten something.
What?
Cooling my head, I, showing off, said quite the cool sentence. My bad, haven't I for 16 years been protecting my chastity from my little sister? And as I bent all the joint of my body on impossible angles. That way sounds like taken out from a manga echoed through my room.
Impossible.
Did you know? About living beings. Don't they evolve in order to adapt to their surroundings?
Even so, a regular human, better, any living being able to bend its joints like that.
Kyuko was in a state of bare surprise before my shocking squirming motion suitable of a soft-bodied being. Don't look at me as if I weren't human. If pushed, I'd say, aren't you lot better further removed from humans? I missed you. M.I. Hando. I was deeply moved by my arms that were fixed at my mouth. I bit them off.
I see. I made a mistake.
Kyuko, once I managed to break free from my restrictions, sobbed and sighed while facing no one.
Why have you been behaving so stupidly? I cannot say. If you knew, you'll surely become disillusioned.
Clearly having many things I want to say to her, once I saw her face, my words thawed inside my throat like ice.
Let's say the truth. Not even I understand it, but, even if I was making a mistake, if I keep trying without giving up, surely a way will open itself. That's what I feel. This kind of half-baked one is the worst pattern. It's repulsive, right?
You see, Keiko, the thing that keeps bothering her is not a skin-deep obstacle. If something bothers you, I want you to consult it with me. If it's me, I think I'll surely will be able to support you. Kyuko, for an instant, opened her eyes wide in surprise, but quickly abruptly averting her sight.
I'm sorry, since there's nothing I can say to you.
A word of apology. Picking up her uniform that had fallen to the ground, she dashed out in an unladylike manner. What the heck was all that, I wonder? I've known Kyuko for a long time, but I feel that being rejected so obstinately is a first up to date. Looking in reaction to a big thunder, the scenery was blanketed by bullet-like raindrops. It seems tonight will pour. June 6th, the night before the Saigusa festival. Having an uncomfortable feeling that I couldn't get rid of, I spent all night awake. Volume 2, Chapter 5 on the night of the festival. June 7th, Saturday. At last, the day of the Saigusa festival has come. What will be the impact of yesterday's sudden evening shower? Today's temperature is 21 C. Under the shade, to protect from the heat of these last days, dressed in casual t-shirt and jeans, it feels a bit unpleasantly chilly. Mr. One Try, please. Receiving in payment 2 100 yen coins, I was handed in return 2 paper fishing rods with a W-shaped hook. I wonder, why are we blessed with this cool weather? In the usual yearly hubbub of the Saigusa festival, Yuhei's yo-yo fishing booth seems to be unexpectedly popular. Customers are mainly elementary schoolers accompanied by their parents, but surprisingly there are lots of female middle school customers of age no different from ours. Despite that, At first glance, it seems there aren't any that fit our desired stats. We have yet to fulfill our original purpose.
Yuga, there hasn't been even one customer with a skirt?
At midday, when no customers came, having reached the peak of his anger, Yuhei, beside me, vented his dissatisfaction. Well, the temperature has dropped 8 degrees since yesterday. Isn't it obvious that miniskirts wearing customers won't come?
Cool. Why, if yesterday it was awfully hot, how did today become cooler?
I wonder about that too.
Girls are girls. They had to come, all of them in trousers, just because temperatures have slightly dropped. Don't you lot have any pride?
What pride? Not being able to follow the nonsensical contents of his speech, though I still could understand Yuhei's feelings. The carefully planned plot to see panty shots was obstructed by the uncertainty of the luck factor from the weather.
Chiharu, I will take revenge.
Why so sudden?
I'll smash all those girls that raise the set temperature on the classroom's air conditioner on a whim without reading the mood.
Oh, Lord. Forgive Yuhei, who has somehow strayed. I dare say, under extreme circumstances where he doesn't know if he's angry or mad at someone, his feelings are in disarray.
Darn it. Why do girls overcome boys' opposition to rise the temperature of the air conditioner, I wonder?
Don't you know? Don't girls and boys feel temperature differently?
Moreover, what's with that girl-oriented fashion that adamantly makes them dress scantily? By dressing scantily, not saying how can they protect against cold with that minimal blankets. Isn't there something called etiquette?
What you're saying? Well, I don't really get it, but at least that doesn't have any relation?
And you say that being very hot is not enough reason for boys to attend classes naked.
How much more will you stretch that topic?
That's all. My bad. I got carried away.
Yep, no problem.
Let's cool our heads by changing the mood. Chiharu, while I'm away buying some drinks, I'll leave the stall in your hands.
Are you sure? While I'm manning the booth? Couldn't a girl wearing a skirt come here? Yuhei, with his hands on his hips, let out a magnificent laugh.
Gahaha! Don't worry about it. Chiharu, without regard for all the pretty girls around you, you decided to stick with me. That made me really glad. That's why, even if you hog all the panty shots from pretty girls, I won't resent you.
Yuhei, I unconsciously let out filled with admiration. As I thought, this guy is unshakable, I feel a mysterious sense of security when I'm with him. In truth, I only came with him because I had nothing better to do. But since it's gotten this far, it's too late to tell him. Right when Yuhei left me on charge of the booth.
Honey, I-chan found.
When I looked in reaction of that familiar-sounding voice, I found the yukata-clad figure of my sister with her eyelids closed in extastion. Hey, isn't it Minami? Being greeted by my sister, realizing myself the stiffness of my unnatural greeting, I felt somewhat uneasy.
Ani-chan is selling yo-yos in his booth.
I've told you. Ain't I helping with a friend's shop?
I know. But haven't you done something bad to that friend? I've brought the promise friend.
Could it be? Not that can't. Darn, you should stop telling jokes from time to time. It can't be you've conveniently made a friend on such shorta. As I stopped on my tracks, I noticed the existence of that girl, right behind Minami. Could it be she's a foreigner? She was a striking girl with long, straight blonde hair dressed in a cute pink yukata. Judging from her height, she didn't seem to be the same age as Minami. At that height, I'd even say she's still in elementary school. Even lined up with my sister, she gave no feeling of being out of place. She gave off an adult-like impression. Who's that child?
What, Tilda? Could it be that you've not noticed, Anio-chan?
What should I notice?
Isn't this girl someone you know very well?
Don't be stupid. What blonde acquaintance have I? Other than Iris, there's no one. Seeing my sister's clear expression of, you said it, a single possibility crossed my mind. Could it be you are Iris? Shining golden hair and glittering red eyes. Now that you said it, she has some likenesses. But isn't it normal not to notice? She isn't wearing her usual robe, and she let her hair down. With her eyes lowered, the blonde beauty nodded in embarrassment.
Foe, laugh if thou wants, tamer.
She let out a self-torturing smile. Why would I?
Someone like me that stems from the noble bloodline of the dragons so lowly. I look like a human lass. Isn't that what thou art thinking?
With a glance of understanding, Iris looked far away. It seems like Iris is not pleased by her appearance, but since to me it seemed like it suited her, I thought she looked cute. I don't understand the circumstances very well, but unless you hate that look, isn't it fine?
Say so this kind of look?
When asked, Iris, averting her gaze, ended up speaking very softly. Maybe there's some reason she can't tell people.
About that, Minami will tell you.
Grin, Minami showed a devilish smile. Wah! Iris, surprisingly losing her composure.
Who, human? Haven't I instructed thee to keep silent about that in particular?
Iris-chan, did you know?
My sister's face turned from devilish to demon-like.
Humans, they are treacherous beings. That's why. Shouldn't you not believe in them so much?
This, do best.
You really do as you please too much, sister of mine. That's some daredevilry. Not only Zomi, you even pick fights with Iris. With this and that, I found out what lead to Iris coming here.
And for that reason, since Iris-chan is too cute, I ended up unintentionally kidnapping her. Teehee.
Ha! Why have you... After listening to her story for a while, Minami, heartbroken after the rejection of a date with her brother, in order to heal her heart, she headed to her usual sex toy store. There are several things to Tsukomi, but I spared them so as to let the story go on. On the way. It seems she found a girl in front of a stall for the festival looking intently at the baby Castellas as if wanting some. To tell you the truth, it is the case that that girl was none other than Iris. It seems that to someone who has lived up till now in the netherworld, like Iris, food from human world stalls looks very charming. Nevertheless, since she lacked human world currency, she could do nothing but to be at loss. And then Minami jauntily appeared. In exchange for treating her to the food from stalls, she asked her to come together to the festival as friends. Like that, that's the reason for this situation. I see. You bribed her to become your friend.
Don't say disgraceful things. Iris-chan and Minami as of recently do get along really well, right, Iris-chan?
Huh.
Iris, with scornful eyes, silently averted her glance. Seems like she holds a grudge due to the recent betrayal.
Moo?
Being unable to receive endorsement, Minami, becoming sullen, got close Iris, and whispered into her ear.
Wait. That's troubling, Iris-chan. You're not saying what we agreed on.
Foo.
Is something the matter?
Ridiculous. Surely doesn't thee think thou hast tamed me to that degree? The nature of the beings known as dragons is that of superior beings that don't get attached to humans.
Understood. I understand. Then, let's make a bargain.
Minami rummaged inside her bag and took out a beautifully wrapped candied apple.
What's this golden shining offering?
To tell the truth, I had reserved it to eat it later.
Hey, what the heck are you two whispering about?
Foo. I can't but acknowledge it. I've spent an eternity together with this human beside me. We've been longtime friends.
I have absolutely not bribed her, have I?
And what was that short give-and-take interval? Be as it may, if I look how happy Iris is removing the wrap and stuffing her mouth with her recently received candied apple, I can guess.
Witness it. Iris-chan and Minami had become friends before.
No, doesn't matter what you say, I can't acknowledge it.
It wasn't fraud.
Not matter how much I think? I sighed. How do I put it? If you had to ask someone, it did not have to be specifically Iris. Wouldn't it have been faster if you had persuaded Zonmi, who lives at home?
Are you being serious?
It would help me a lot better if you lot got along better.
Absolutely not. Spending all day long beside that zombie girl, I could easily catch her zombie virus. It could cause a biohazard.
Ah! It's good that Zonmi is not here. These snide remarks before the person in question, there's no way I can tell her.
Foo. What an interesting conversation. Mind if I join?
A somewhat frigid tone that seemed wrapped in coldness. Zonmi, speak of the devil and it shall appear. In the direction of the voice, there was Zonmi's figure, releasing such a silent pressure that at any time we'd hear a thundering sound effect. Isn't this what's called awkward? Why among all girls around me? There are lots of these unexpected places at unexpected moments ones, I wonder. Didn't you say you wouldn't come to the festival?
Change of schedule. Since today the weather is bearable in the human world.
I see. Heavy clouds. Chilly temperature. Today's weather that a certain yo-yo balloon vendor called the worst condition seems to be just fine for ghouls.
Even so, how surprising.
As Zonmi spoke with an indifferent tone, the atmosphere was filled with tension.
Could it be that even the red dragon has come to this place?
No!
With an appearance like that, judging from appearances, haven't you got hooked to human world entertainment?
Said Zonmi with a sarcastic tone. That glance was filled with clear hostility. That's right. Though those two are currently in a ceasefire, some time ago Zoni and Iris engaged in battle to make a contract with me. It may be that Zonmi keeps her guard up against Iris, Being recognized, Iris hastily hid her candied apple behind her back.
Cuckoo, thou dost know nothing.
She dodged it while her forehead was covered in sweat. However, isn't it somewhat sad to dodge it with such a cliched expression? Since candied apples are difficult to eat, there's no other way though.
About that, Chiharu. Is the proposition from before still valid?
Why so sudden?
To tell the truth, since earlier, what kind of thing are those so-called human world festivals? I've developed an unusual interest. That's why, when I was invited by Chiharu before, it made me very happy.
Is that so?
Yes, for that reason, let's promptly go around these booths. Show me around the area, please.
Zomi continued with a, "This place is dangerous," in a weak voice. It seems this girl is worried about me. Ah. If you say that...
Wait a minute.
As I turned back while grabbed by Zonmi, Manami let out an ear-splitting shout.
Wait a minute? What the heck? I really don't understand this. Why has the flow gone to the latecomer Zonmi hogging a date with Onie-chan? It's very weird.
Ah. Yep. My bad. Since I'm sorry, please stop taking out those knives in public. At worst, they could report us.
Then, answer? Onie-chan, who do you want to go to the festival with?
Just to be sure, is there no option of all of us going around together?
That is an absolute no.
Only that absolutely cannot be.
These guys, they've said it in dubious harmony. I don't know if their relationship is that good or that bad. Well, what do I do? Speaking from my personal feelings, since going only with Manami is not an option, that only leaves going with Zonmi, but no doubt, things are not going to be that easy. If I choose Zonmi here, I feel that soon things will get messy. No, I'll affirm it. Things will absolutely get messy. If I leave Iris and Manami alone with each other, I wouldn't feel at ease. In some sense, they make the top 1 and 2 of the people more lacking in common sense on my surroundings. Thinking about all of the annoyances around me, it may be better to keep them under watch, lest they cause some kind of trouble. As a result, I'm at a loss as to which option to choose.
Understood. Then, let's do this.
The one who extended a helping hand bet letter, _Markichi, there was my sister.
Let's compete about who can catch the most yo-yo balloons and wager my brother.
What?
Is that fair?
Wait a minute. Competing, you say? There's no reason why Zonmi would agree to those ridiculous...
Understood. That match. I'll take it up.
Ah!
Why are you so surprised?
You sure, Zonmi? Did you agree to those nonsensical terms?
Where exactly does it have this logic? Since it's impossible for the pathologically indecisive Chiharu to choose one of the two parts.
That's right. If we wait for my good-for-nothing on Odium-chan to make a decision, it'd be tomorrow.
Problem? If it's about me, they agree magnificently. I see. When it comes down to what I'm thinking about, those two know it really well.
Yosh. Then we'll start at the rare ratty go signal.
Roger.
The time limit is 5 minutes. How about making a rule that if the thread we are holding breaks, you can no longer fish any balloons?
I mostly accept, but isn't it unfair that you're on charge for the starting signal? Chiharu, could you be in charge of the signal?
I don't mind. The moment I answered, they turned their glances into those of battle. As soon as both of them held their fishing lines, they firstly looked around thinking what balloon targets should they catch. How should I say it? Those two were shamelessly excited, playing for free. It's a holes. It's a holes. Should I ask them to pay their fares later? After that, as I unmotivately yelled ready Eddie, go, both of them started their battle fuses.
Tamer, by the way, can I inquire something?
Yeah, what is it?
I've been curious about it for a while, but what the heck are those trinkets called yo-yo balloons?
Could it be that there are no yo-yo balloons at the Netherworld?
Well, at least in my colony they're unheard of.
There are.
The one who answered in place of Iris was Zonmi, who was fishing balloons with terrific handling.
However, speaking from the conclusion, it depends on the area. Since what's called the Netherworld is pretty big, saying it differently, there are cultural differences similar to those in the human world. Though around the central areas, one's lifestyle is no different from that of the human world, there are still people who adhere to traditional lifestyles.
I see.
By the way, there were where I lived. In my childhood, I played like this.
While giving that fluid explanation, Zomi got her 4th balloon of the day. That manual ability has been polished without waste. It's not something that comes in a day. I see. It sure seems that yo-yo balloon fishing does exist at Netherworld.
Mew.
On the other hand, Manami was slightly behind, having just caught her third. Against Sanmi, who shows a surprising skill on an unexpected field, it seems she's up to a hard fight.
There's no way. If possible, I didn't want to employ this technique, but handing on AI-chan to that zombie as if…
Fufu, what a sore loser. Do you think you can still turn the tables with this difference in balloons caught?
That… We won't know until I try. I absolutely won't give up till the very end.
That technique, could it be?
Suddenly, Zomi showed astonishment in front of the unleashed master technique. Be that as it may, those two are very lively.
It cannot be. Something like fishing two balloons at the same time. The fishing paper cannot possibly support the weight of the balloons.
Fufu. She can't be catching two at a time. Come on. This little zombie doesn't understand.
Hey.
Come on. The true showdown starts now. I haven't been playing with Oniai-chan's ball since 5 just for show.
Won't those words raise many misunderstandings? Like mistaking it for I've been playing ball games with Oni-chan since I was 5.
Fufu, it seems I have no room to go easy. Should I really go at full strength, little sister?
What do you mean?
Even so, it's not easy to be a march to me when balls are involved.
That technique? Could it be?
I don't know if it was answering my wish, but something came flying with good energy against my face. Gah! I unconsciously let out in a pathetic voice. Looking at what was rolling on the ground, it was what was inside Ramoon bottles.
Chiharu, what the heck is this?
What a bad timing. Raising my face, isn't that Yue glaring at me with the face of a Rakshasa demon, as if I was his family enemy? Yuhei, welcome back. As I said those carefully selected words, Yuhei seemed to inhale a big chunk of air.
Be careful. Zomi-san, little sister-san, this arrow kappa, isn't he peeping inside your skirts?
This guy? He instantly sold out his friend? Like usual, he's a fellow that changes his allegiances very easily.
Wah.
Engaged in the height of their battle, Zonmi and Minami were left for a moment with their mouths agape and expressions not understanding, but they soon realized the defenseless of their stance and with their faces bright red and pulling down the hems of their skirts.
Chiharu, until what lengths will you?
That's mean, Onwi-chan. If you asked, I would have shown you to your heart's content.
You hey bastard. You promised that you wouldn't resent me if I hogged all of the panty shots.
Shut up, sex offender. The one who broke his promise first was you. As if Zonmi-san and little sister-san weren't enough, you've just added a golden-haired loli as a harem member.
Ugh. It's not what it seems. Your sign interrupted me with a scream.
You die with a marble stuck in your throat.
After spitting out that rejection sentence, he ran way full throttle. From Yuhei's hand, I caught a second bottle of Ramoon that bumped into me. Could it be this guy? Did he go to buy me a drink for my sake? Seeing it like that, though I haven't done anything bad, I became a little remorseful.
Well, what the heck is this? Why don't you explain it in detail, you perverted daimao?
I take back what I said. Thinking about it with a cool head, I did something bad. Never and nowhere, evil has never prospered. After that, being harshly reprimanded, I was made to bitterly realize that in this world there's no way things so good can be true. And then, we had normal fun at the Segusa festival. About the incident from before, I was temporarily let out on parole under the single condition of today, all day it's my treat, you can eat anything you want to your heart's content. Eh? Only that? Well, you may have doubts, but I'd say the crux is on the words on parole. I believe they are currently gathering evidence. First of all, we went to make the prayer that makes this festival's main event. Couples, parents with children. Some people, I think they form a school group, and so were lined up before the shrine. So we ended up waiting 30 minutes for our tanzaku. Once we received our wishing papers from Priestess, I'd say they were part-timers, we promptly went to hang them on the provided trees. By the way, I'll introduce what we all wrote. Let my master become a top-class monster tamer. Zoni. As expected, ain't that what Zoni would say? I think that, since we are at a festival, you could have written more lively things, but even here you show an honor student-like attitude. Make my stature grow taller. I command thee, Iris. Why a command? Couldn't you make it look a bit more like a wish? However, what a surprise. Iris is concerned about her height. Anye-chan and I have become one in body and soul. Minami. Why past tense? Could it be that Minami burns with rivalry against the lovey-doveyness of Orihime and Hikoboshi? Even if it's like that, you shouldn't made things up. Let all the Rejuice, if possible, suffer horrible deaths. One for Death 710.7. By chance, that kind of Tanzaku entered my site. It seems it's written on a fashion so that expressly only the initial is used, but isn't this one clearly Yuhei's? And this most important Tanzaku of mine, let everyone spend their lives with happy faces. Chiharu, even if I say so myself, isn't it too immature? I'd rather write a wish that is a bit more material, more mundane, but I felt it wouldn't fit this formal a place. Since I feared the girl's stares, I felt it was safer to write something harmless. And with this and that, having hung our Tanzaku and gone around the stalls, we made our way to the riverbank to see the closing event, the fireworks show. Really, it would be good if there were seats left, but something so convenient is bound to not happen. We chose the top of a suitable set of stone steps. Despite there still being an hour before the start of the show, the area around the river was already crowded.
What's the matter? You've been looking disheartened for a while.
Looking up to the starless night sky of the city area, Zonmi, who was sitting beside me, asked with a meek expression, "I'm only a bit tired. I won't lie." In fact, the tiredness from going around the stalls all day long may be part of the reason. So comes 5 wares in invents. No, wrong. After all, I can't do anything other than worrying. I have since last night been unable to contact Kyuko. Could it be she has normally attended the festival? That's what I hope, but it seems unlikely. While I was going around the booths with the girls, I kept looking around, but I couldn't find her. Had Kyuko come to the festival, I'd surely have found her. In that case, where and what was she doing? I somehow picture she's crying alone, and it becomes an unbearable feeling.
No way, is it?
What?
Since it's Chiharu, perhaps are you thinking about the missing Nephilim? As I thought, right on the mark. That she alone among all of us is missing, it's unnatural.
That may be, but why did you know what I was thinking about?
Don't look down on us. Could it be you thought we didn't notice?
What thing? Manami and Iris, sitting near, exchanged glances and smiled bitterly.
Onie-chan has been looking around restlessly all day long.
Gosh, it's impossible to keep any secret before me.
Holy cow, do I have a face so easy to read? It seems they found out I've been all day long looking for Kyoko.
What about I try to contact the Nephilim right now?
Truth is, I've been calling her since yesterday, but it won't connect.
In that case, why don't you go directly to her home? There's still more than 30 minutes until the fireworks. If you go now, won't you make it in time?
I see. I still have that. If phone calls won't connect, I can go directly to her home. Living in this time of cell phone correspondence, that choice slipped my mind.
Even so, it's very weird
What?
that each and every one of you read my mind. It can't be that all of you have spent all day looking at my face.
Oi, why the sudden silence?
Really, you. Until what lengths will you
Zomi, sighing deeply with a perplexed expression.
go, now? Because later it will be a bother to scold that outcast Nephilim.
Understood. Thanks. With a word of thanks, I thoroughly started to run along the riverside. I see. That's right. If we are all gathered, that only her is missing. It's not natural that someone seems to be excluded from the group alone. And then, I could ask her about last night. And then everything will go smoothly. The me right now unconsciously thought those things. Volume 2. Chapter 6. Captured _heroine _. Running at full speed, I could see Kyuko's apartment in less than 5 minutes. That's really weird. If I'm not wrong, I think I was a distance of 2-3 kilometers from my starting point, but this watch, could it be broken? If I lose my job as a monster tamer, I may join a short-distance running team. I was starting to think about it. When I received mail from Kyuko on my cell phone, I first thought it was spam mail. For starters, being that the contents were something so crazy, it made me think it hadn't come from Kyuko. However, once I opened the attached file, I fell into the abyss of despair. Displayed on my cell screen was Kyuko, unconscious and with blood oozing from her head. Tied to a tree with thick ropes, she could not even twitch a finger, tightly clutching my fist to the point of bleeding. Forgetting myself with rage, I managed to keep myself in check. Let's think it over calmly. Getting angry here won't solve anything. And besides, I have to first decide how to save Kyuko. For starters, what's the aim of the sender of this mail? Since he took Yukoko captive and then expressly contacted me, it's safe to think he's somewhat related to monster tamers, but who the heck is he? What's his aim? Only one. I happen to know about an incident like this one. The evil organization that abuses monsters, Black Tamers. If it's those guys, chances are high they could pull off an incident like this. From the attached image, I could guess Kyuko's whereabouts. It's a high place from where you can have an unbroken view of Segusa City's landscape, the best spot to watch fireworks from. It was the place I'd dreamt of before. Well, what do? I have two options to choose from. That is, do I give in to the culprit's demand and head there alone? Or do I go back and ask for help from Zomi and the rest? If I think first about my own safety, undoubtedly the latter. However, is that really right? I can't rule out that Kyoko will be harmed if I disregard the culprit's demands. Once it comes to it, I can also employ summon. It's never too late to ask for help, even if I get in a pinch. Anyhow, right now Kyuko's safety comes first. I've more or less decided what to do. No problem. It's totally not safe, but rather than hoping to converse with the culprit, it's simply to prevent Kyuko from suffering harm. This time alone, I'm grateful that my body is so far off from a human's. I feel that the me right now can run even faster than when I came here. Loosening the grip on my fists, I headed full speed toward the high place where Kyuko was being held captive. That place was located after crossing over a not very well-known mountain path. Good. Are you unharmed?
Haru, why are you?
As soon as Kyuko saw my figure, she opened wide her eyes in surprise, but soon, once her gaze fell on that, she started trembling with fear.
How pleasant you've come alone as we agreed.
You? The one who sent the mail?
That's correct. My name is Noelle. Noelle North. Norm. Feel free to call me No-No.
Surprising. The tamer I fought before looked like 5-6 years older than me, but this one looked younger than me. And, moreover, a girl. Her features were like those of an exquisitely crafted antique doll, impressive ringlets of a vivid red judging by looks. Alone, she's an unblemished pretty girl. But why is it the impression I gathered from that child was deary? More like she lacked something any human should have. When I looked at that child, it's like some baseless anxiety overwhelmed my chest. My bad. But I don't have the time to get acquainted with you, so I won't call you by pet names at all. I'm sorry, but I have something scheduled for later. At worst, if a battle starts, I'll summon Zonmi and settle it in one swoop. Dash, give Yuko back. Once I threatened her like that, Noelle burst into a theatrical, uncanny laughter.
Aha, you say amusing things. That I return her even though this child is already mine?
Those were very significant words, she said. I felt uneasy about Noelle's words, but I walked up to Kyuko. Surprising. Certainly she should have summoned a monster, but contrary to my expectations, Noelle didn't show any signs of moving.
Dust pain.
So, she simply brought the ring she was wearing near her mouth and chanted that in an indifferent tone. As soon as Noelle muttered whatever those words, Kyuko's body started twitching in agony. Oi! You all right? Suddenly, from nowhere there appeared countless black particles that surrounded Kyuko. I tried to clear them away by using my jacket, that I took off, but none of the particles that appeared one by one gave signs of disappearing. Panicking, I tried to hit her in the back, but Kyuko's seizure didn't give signs of getting better.
Ooh! You!
Didn't I say it? She's already my property. If you value that child's life, it'd be better that you didn't get closer. Too much energy could kill her.
On Noelle's middle finger, who showed a triumphant mood, there was a black ring I've seen somewhere. That ring. It's something I saw in my previous battle. A ring that forcibly enslaves a monster against its will. Enforce ring. Also, taking a closer look at the rope Kyuko was bound with, it was the same kind Iris was captured with before. But among monster tamers, possession of these items was forbidden. This girl is a black tamer? A very bad premonition crossed my mind. When I slowly directed my eyes to Kyuko's finger, she was wearing the same ring as Noelle. Could it be a contract with Kyuko?
Kia, do you understand with this? The enforce ring lets me have power over an enslaved monster's life and death. If I keep sending her pain like this, what will happen to her? Can you picture it?
It seems that what Noelle has just said could be true. In any case, even if I suppose enforce rings don't have a function to take lives, after seeing Kyuko's suffering a while ago, that had enough weight as a threat.
Haru, I'm sorry.
Astonished by the unbelievable development, Keiko, with a meek expression, muttered in a thin voice. Don't worry. You have no reason to apologize.
Nope, that's wrong. This, it's divine punishment.
Divine punishment? Parroting her words as a question, Yukoko's eyes became red and swollen.
It was said by Dad, I'd be introduced to a new contract partner. However, I wouldn't like to make a contract with someone other than Haru. So as to not say that, I tried to snatch away the Ghoul's contract. I intended to say it yesterday night, but it scares me to be hated by you.
I see. So recently, Yukoko seemed strange because of that. I don't know how snatching a contract and making me a Bentu or showing me her panties can relate to each other, but in Keiko's way, her behavior should be well thought of, since to take advantage of someone who's cornered requires coldness.
I had decided that my first contract was reserved for Haru. Why did this need to happen, I wonder?
Don't worry. Enforce is not a proper contract. I'll rescue you in a flash. Well, what do I do? Until I came here, I felt that I had to take Yuko back, even if by force. However, it doesn't look like this could be so easily resolved. It's no wonder. Since Noelle has power over Kyuko's life and death, I can't employ underhanded methods. Since if I fail to keep her in a good mood, she doesn't need a reason to kill Kyuko. Herewith, the only way is this one trump card. Even summon, it's very likely it's not allowed.
Have you finished with your last chat? I have gotten tired of waiting.
Sorry for making you wait. We've just finished. Nevertheless, even if the situation is heavily unfavorable, I wouldn't say there is no hope. Then, what do I have to do to free Kyuko? I had a reason to ask with so much confidence. Let's think about it. Had Noelle's aim been simply taking my life, she needn't do it in such a roundabout way. Her aim was not killing. In that case, I may be able to save Kyuko by negotiating.
Aha! It's a relief you seem so perceptive, Tilda.
Noelle laughed with innocence while glaring with cruelty.
So that's right. If so, what about this? From now on, you'll risk your life by fighting the monsters I'll summon.
This girl? What the heck it's now?
Ah, of course. It's forbidden to use summon to call for monsters. It's a promise. If you can defeat my monsters, I'll give you this child back.
Have you lost your mind? There's no way a regular human can defeat...
If it's you, you can. Or rather, if you cannot win, it will be troublesome.
As soon as Noelle said that meaningful thing with her face shrouded in darkness, she loudly shouted towards her ring,
Summon Killer Mantis.
And, the next instant, from nowhere appeared a huge mantis monster with a length of 7 meters. No, looking closer it was not a regular mantis. That monster, equipped with 2 sides, 6 legs, and 8 eyes, like a crossbreed between a mantis and a tarantula, had quite the terrifying appearance. Ha! Is this a joke? There's no way a flesh-and-blood human would win against the Hid. Ooh! It seems it's not the right time to get lost in despair. The mantis monster swung down its huge scythe-like hands toward my head. That was dangerous. Had I reacted a bit later, my head would have been severed from my body. And right after avoiding the attack, from behind me came a thunderous noise, as if the earth was trembling. What? This? As I tried looking over my shoulder, the attack the mantis had released became a shockwave, and the trees behind had been mowed down. Unconsciously, I let out a bitter smile. In addition to being in a desperate situation. The worst thing is that Mantis seems it can release long-ranged attacks. Well, what do? I can't get into close range. I can't get out to long range. Become to this, there's but a single way of taking it down. Attacking from the sidelines without it noticing, that is, a surprise attack. Of course, I fully realize that it's not so easy, but I have no time to spare. As a result of thinking it out, I turned on my heels and dashed at full throttle. The mantis released a shockwave with a sharp wind-cutting sound, but I closely evaded it by bending my body at the same time the sound was made.
Ah, I expected something from you. How, Uncoal? You run away, leaving the girl behind.
Despite Noelle babbling that, there's no way I was fleeing without thinking it out. I'm taking refuge in the copse, which had bad visibility, as much as possible, so as to survive. No, a bit deeper. Luckily, it seems I can win inside here thanks to my mobility. After running for a while and getting out of sight of my enemy, I managed to put some distance in between us. Hiding in the shade of the bushes, I laid in wait for my foe's passing. As I thought. It seems like the big-bodied mantis has difficulty following me through the copse. Hiding inside the copse was the correct decision. It won't be easy taking it by surprise. Once it gets careless, I'll throw a single hit with full strength. Wait a minute. Can I really cause any damage if I punch it with my full strength? I've heard about it on the net or somewhere. According to it, it seems a human being cannot win in a fight against a chimpanzee that weighs 30 kilos. I think that mantis goes easily over 10 times that weight, if, by any chance, I manage to take it by surprise. Could I give it a lethal hit? Perhaps. No, totally impossible. If I attack it, chances are good that the situation will be reversed against me. So, what do? Should I only keep holding my breath like this? Wait. That moment, something flashed in my mind. To begin with, the thing about a human being incapable to defeat another animal is based on the premise of both of them being unarmed. That's why I may be able to win. If I could get familiar with that mantis's powerful weapon that leaves you silent with its impotence, I'd say I only have a single chance. I'm scared of dying, extremely scared. I don't have among his main character composure of this guy. He's in a life or death situation, and he still laughs. Or the like. My limbs are trembling with force. However, here ends the running from place to place. That day, my trembling childhood friend said thus, "Dash, if I keep trying without giving up, surely a way will open itself." During yesterday's evening shower, didn't rays fall? I lifted the perfect spoils from that. A fallen tree with a bit sharp pointy end. It weighed about 50 kilograms or so. The sound of falling trees showed me the enemy's position. I took a step. Another step. I got closer to the source of the noise. Ouch! Luckily, the monster mantis didn't notice me. Without turning its eyes in my direction, it mowed down the trees that hampered its movements. Just when the mantis swung downwards its arm to cut down the next tree. Gathering my resolution, I, muffling my voice, targeted my opponent's bosom and broke into a run. Dash, I'd say, not even a second after I started my run. The mantis' composite eyes turned in my direction. Crap, it noticed me. However, due to the momentum of having started to run, I can't turn back. The dice had been cast. Weird. I should have charged with considerable impetus, but it didn't look like it. That's no wonder, since my weapon was deflected by the mantis's arm and was thrown far away. The first attack has ended in failure. I've even lost my weapon. It fits inside the plan, but it's the worst pattern. Oh, in no time, the mantis started throwing attacks at me with each of its 8 limbs, totally centered on evading. I barely managed to avoid its attacks.
Hey, you seem to have very good react speed. However, can you keep evading like that?
Appearing from nowhere, Noelle muttered seemingly with admiration. Shut your trap. Compared with Zanmi's attacks, these look like they're standing still. Despite me running my mouth, it didn't seem like I could keep this for long. For starters, it's clearly obvious that it's becoming more and more difficult for my eyes to keep following its slashes. Is my speed falling, or is it speed raising? When I took a glance at Noelle, she was staring with ecstatic eyes. A sadist. Is it? By gradually rising the speed, maybe she's plotting torturing me to death. And, earlier than expected, that happened. Before realizing it, my right arm was cut off while spurting fresh blood. Well, that hurt. Incredibly so. However, more than the physical pain, the fact of I've lost an arm was worse to endure. Why is that so? Could it be because the right arm that has accompanied me for 16 years was suddenly amputated, no matter how much inhuman resilience monster tamers have? I can hardly picture an arm growing back like a lizard's tail. It could be the shock, or it could be the stupefaction. For a short while, I lost the willpower to even think.
Kayaha, it's checkmate. There really is no reason for me saying it, but I couldn't endure it.
Noelle started to breath roughly.
That's why, please, get killed.
She passed the death sentence with bloodshot eyes. One last thing. It seems I've made a great mistake. The killing intent that makes one shiver that Noelle is emitting. It's not much, but it's not faked. It seems that she had planned killing me since the start. In that case, why doing it in such a roundabout way? Before death, these questions kept popping into my head, but I don't know what meaning they have. Since I'll die here, having given up on living, when I closed my eyes, the mantis in front of me, SNAP, disappeared from my sight. Next instant, the mantis was blown off 10 meters while mowing down the trees with the impact, and like that, it ended up not even twitching. Noelle, for an instant, with a face of not knowing what just happened, seemed to be dumbfounded. This is my chance. As I give some whipping to my damaged body and hastily cut distances with Noelle, I roughly grasped her right hand with my remaining left. My bad, but it seems the one who did the checkmate before was me. Isn't it right that you can't kill Yoko like this?
Good. It seems I made it in time.
Yuko and I trapped Noelle between us. Noelle, immediately after blinking in surprise, before long, as if she had understood the situation, she showed a faint smile.
I see. You are really amazing. I think I understand why One-chan is so fond of you. Plunging without second thoughts, did you use the shock waves of the killer mantis to free the Nephilim from the catch net?
It's a miracle that this tactic has developed so well. However, it doesn't matter how low the chances were. I think that there was no other way for me to win. Is that really true? For starters, no matter how much you do your best, it's impossible to fell a foe 5 times your size like a tree. What I'd say I could do would be, at most, earning some time. At the end of the day, the weapons of monster tamers are the monsters under them.
The best someone could do in a desperate situation is keeping their cool. Courage is needed in order to, when needed, using yourself as a bait to find a way out. Your behavior has been impeccable and deserves praise.
Many thanks. But I'm not happy of being praised by you. Well, give up now and free Coco from the contract?
However, what you should be asking me is not that.
And, next instant, a revolting scene unfolded before my eyes. Noelle's arm, that I had kept tightly grasped up till now changed shaped before my eyes. I'd say this. It's undoubtedly rock. Without knowing what to say myself, I don't want to admit it, but I don't know how to express it. Noelle has transformed her arm into a rock clump. What the heck is this? Noelle's right arm is clearly not human, a monster enslaving monsters. Is that even possible? Zomi said before that humans are the only species able to become monster tamers. So, shouldn't this be a shocking fact? Let's suppose. If there was another species apart from humans able to become monster tamers, there would be no reason for Zonmi and the lot to depend so much on me. While I was troubled by this question with no answer, Noelle widely grinned.
Then until when will you keep holding my hand?
The next instant, my body was floating in the air. I'd say that in order to free her hand, she must have swung her stone-turned arm. The movement was too fast, so I didn't realize in the least something had happened. Gaha! Crashing on the fallen trees unprepared, my bones creaked. Ah, that's bad. I think that attack just now has taken out 5 or 6 of my ribs. Moreover, I think I've lost too much blood due to missing an arm. My sight is blurry and I'm dizzy. It doesn't matter how many signals my brain sends. My body can't lift a finger.
Haru?
Could it be because I was so carelessly tossed with so much force? As if worried about my condition, Yuko came running without delay. Idiot. Even if you come here, this time, Yuko should disregard me and engage in combat with Noelle ASAP. After all, if she doesn't—
Kaya, foolish girl. You're finished. Die like this.
As soon as Noelle approached right away, the contract ring she was wearing to her mouth,
Dust pain.
she chanted mercilessly without hesitation. The next instant, black particles surrounded Keiko and covered her. This time there were thrice the earlier amount, and it was clearly stronger than before.
Gah.
As soon as Kyuko raised a soundless shout, she crouched on the ground like that. How much pain, I honestly can't say. She's not threatening, she truly intends to kill her. Please, don't kill her. What I managed to squeeze out by gathering what little willpower I had left were real honest thoughts. It's fine, whatever you do to me. I don't mind if you want to boil or roast me, but only Kyuko. I beg you, don't kill her.
Could it be, do you think I'd give in to that plea?
I beg you.
Interest, Hare. Why would I had to listen to the words of a dead person?
Drooling all over, pleasure filled her face. Noelle stepped on my head.
Oh, that face is gold. That's why I can't stop killing you. Kiaha Ani-chan, this is where you will die. But I can't kill you now, since I want to see your pathetic face. Killing you will come after that girl over there kicks the bucket.
Ru.
Yuko mouthed my name without strength. Those eyes tinged with despair were empty and lifeless. As quickly as possible, I must save Kyuko. But how do I save her? It's decided. Why didn't I realize something so easy? The Noelle entrance, she shall die. Making that decision inside my heart, next instant, with a rumbling, there was the sound of something bursting open inside me. What the heck? Isn't this weird even if I am on death's threshold? I realized that my body temperature suddenly rose, and my heart was literally beating at about twice the normal speed. My body was as hot as if I were inside flames. Since a while ago. What the heck has been happening? What's with this power that's gushing out from the depths of my body? Saihas? It's gradual, but I feel like blood is circulating throughout my body. For starters, let's try to grab Noelle's ankle that has been stepping on my head for a while with my right hand. I thought it was a very stupid voice.
Ouch, 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 ouch.
I've only touched a bit the body of the girl before me. Why does she raise such a fuss? She's noisy. I wish she'd shut up a bit. Miraculously, getting up was very easy. So as to silence the girl before me, I grabbed her right hand with full strength. The sound of rocks cracking was heard. I'd say that in order to protect her right hand, she turned it into stone.
Huh, Rue?
For some reason, I thought things around me were boisterous, but the me right now didn't pay it any mind. My body is as hot as if I was burning. Somehow, it seemed like my chest was being baked in an oven. My magic power had exceeded the allowed level since a while ago and was crying to get out. I have to let out even a bit of that excess magic power. If not, my skin will be charred by that excess magic power.
Aha. Now I'm mad. Thinking about it, wasn't it a promise? If you could defeat my summoned monsters, I'll give you the girl back. But what a pity. Truth is, I don't have only one monster.
As soon as the girl yelled something, 3 monsters appeared in succession. I'm surrounded. The ones I'm stuck between left and right are a carnivorous plant-like monster and that human-shaped bull-headed monster I fought before, the Minotauros. The third one that appeared was a stone monster that, as if protecting Noelle, loitered around her. Were I the usual me, I'd be struck by despair, but mysteriously, I didn't feel like I'd lose. It's the first time I'd felt like this. It's a bit excessive. I feel like punishing someone. As I was confused by this unknown feeling that surged from the bottom of my heart, countless plant roots surged from the ground that restrained my body. It seems that, without me noticing, I was attacked by the enemy.
Aha, an opening.
The instant she muttered that, a strong impact run through my skull. Without being able to resist, I sunk around 50 centimeters into the ground. Looking at where the attack came from, there was the Minotauros brandishing its large axe. However, that axe seems to have suffered a chink beyond repair. Strangely, it doesn't hurt. On the contrary, I couldn't help but smile while thinking how to slaughter them.
You are an unpleasant person till the end. What do you find so funny?
It seemed she has said something with a puzzled face, but words from outside didn't enter my ears no more. Moving by instinct, I closed distance with my prey. The first target I've decided on is the carnivorous plant monster. What? It's finished? Since it's become completely motionless, I think so. The match had ended very quickly, but a fight of this degree is not enough. Making that assessment, I decided on my next target. The second one I chose as prey was the one who has just attacked me with its axe, the Minotauros. If it's this one that heard me before, no doubt it will become interesting. My heart full of expectation, I dashed right to its chest, full force with the memento. I cut off the Minotauros' left arm. As if cutting tofu with a knife, there was no feeling of resistance. Only the Minotauros' spray of blood and yell were left. That's weird, the Minotauros. Was it so weak? Doubt crossed my mind. No matter how much I think, the outcome is the same. In the end, not totally satisfied. I cut off all 4 of the Minotauros' limbs. What a letdown. With my sharp as a blade right arm, I decapitated the Minotauros, who was already no more than a flesh dorma. So, the last one left. The rocky monster was my last hope at the bottom of the box.
Stop.
Just when I was about to decide how to massacre the foe before me, on my back, there was a pleasantly cool sensation. It seems that someone is hugging me from behind. Is that so? This is body warmth. I feel it awfully cold since my temperature is very high. The heck? Do I know this warmth?
That fighting from before, you have to return to being human.
This chap. What's with that? Saying it like that. Do I not look like a human? Wah. But, now that I mention it, too late, I feel uncomfortable on my own body. I don't know the reason why, but my right arm has turned into the shape of a huge reddish-brown blade. That's weird. Earlier, how could my cut-off right arm grow back again? Questions kept bubbling out, that moment. Gare? As if dry ice had been forced deep inside my throat, I felt a throbbing pain inside my head. The opened, my heart raised a big beat. When I opened my eyes, my right arm had returned to its usual color. What the heck is this usual color? What the heck is this Juzuong?
That's good. Hi. Had Haru died like that?
Oh. Why have you hugged me that all of a sudden?
Sudden?
I see. That's right. The price of power are the memories?
Who's this? this gothic lowly dressed pretty girl? I'm still confused, but frantically racking my brain, I managed to retrieve a faint string of memory. That's right. How could I forget something so important? Her name is Noelle, the mastermind behind Kyuko's abduction who sent a message to me. And, right when I recalled her name, memories of the battle that just happened unfolded inside my head.
That's weird. I wasn't informed of this, but it may be a bother, but I must go tell One-chan ASAP.
Right when Noelle was grumbling to herself,
But before that, I shall slay those who know about his power.
she drew the ring near her mouth. Darn. Noelle must not use that ring. Quickly. If she's not stopped somehow or other, Kyuko's life will be in danger.
Dust pain.
Nevertheless, the instant she chanted, something totally unexpected took place before my eyes.
Gah. Ouch. Ouch. Ouch.
Contrary to what I expected, it was Noelle who started grasping her chest in pain. And is this what they call a point for me? The contract ring that, until a while ago, was wrapped in a dusky murkiness, was now just dazzlingly shining. Oh, I. You all right? Noelle's manner of suffering is not normal. Since I can't bear to watch it, even if she's my foe, I rush to her side and
Shut your trap. Don't touch my body.
raged Noelle. Next, I felt as if my surrounding had gotten darker. Looking up, the golem's giant hand palm was about to smash me any moment now with force, isn't it near the top of my head? Ah, crap, I'll die here. I will in the end be denied the victor's mercy and killed. Isn't an inhuman way of dying, even if I say so myself, as I regretted my own rashness.
Really? Unreliable. Like always.
Holy crap. What kind of power is this? When I go to save someone, in the end I do nothing but get saved by that very person. Yuko, my childhood friend, has felled an opponent 10 times her own size with a single dropkick. This hit clearly was more powerful than the one she sent away the mantis with earlier. By any chance, could Kyoko's contract ring that, the same as Noelle's, was faintly shining have something to do with it? Let's stop getting deep in thought for now. There should be another chance for detailed thinking.
Shay.
As soon as Noelle took off her now useless contract ring, tossing it with force against the ground,
I'm not in the mood to fight anymore today. Later, Onai-chan.
just when she tossed her parting words seemingly indifferent, she merged into the darkness of the night like that.
Are you letting her flee?
If I let her get away before my eyes, chances are good that she'll put me in danger again. When, giving a whipping to my exhausted body, I tried to pursue after her. My vision strained, my legs gave out.
Haru.
Now that I think today all along did nothing but fighting. I'm suddenly tormented by a monumental despondency as if I had been working for 3 days and 3 nights straight without rest. My vision slowly darkened. Having used up all of my internal magic power, I like that. I lost consciousness as if going into deep slumber.